Once upon a time, in a distant place, there was a rich boy who had never seen anything beyond his luxurious lifestyle. His family's wealth had always protected him from the real world. But his father was worried that his son was becoming too self-important. So, he decided to take him on a trip to the countryside. The father's plan was to show his son how people lived in poverty and how they had to struggle to make ends meet. As they set off on their journey, the boy was excited, thinking that they were going on a vacation. However, as they traveled deeper into the countryside, he began to notice a change in the landscape. The roads were no longer paved, and the houses they passed were small and miserable. Later, they arrived at a farm belonging to a very poor family. The boy was surprised by the squalor in which they lived. Their home was a small, simple structure, and their belongings were meager. They had no electricity, no running water, and the only source of heat was a small wood-burning stove. The boy's father explained to him that this was how many people in the world lived, and that they had to work very hard to make ends meet. Despite their poverty, the family welcomed the boy and his father with open arms. They shared their meager food with them, and the boy was fascinated by the simple, yet happy life that they led. He noticed that the family members were always smiling, and they seemed to be satisfied with their lives, even though they had so little. The boy's father was happy to see that his son was learning a valuable lesson about life. As they left the farm and made their way back home, the father asked his son if he enjoyed the trip. "It was great, father," the boy replied. "Did you notice how poor people live?" "Yes, I did," said the boy's father. He then asked his son to tell him more about his impressions of their trip. The boy began to recount his experiences. "Well, we have only one dog, but they have 4 of them. In our garden, there is a pool, while they have a river that seems to have no end. We've got expensive lanterns, but they have the stars above their heads at night. We have a balcony, but they have the entire horizon. We have only a small piece of land, while they have endless fields. We buy our food, but they grow it themselves. We have a high fence to protect our property, but they don't need it, as their friends protect them." The father listened carefully as his son spoke. He was amazed by his son's smart observations and how the experience had made him realize that wealth and happiness are not solely determined by material possessions. The boy continued, "Thank you, Father, for letting me see how poor we are. You see, in life, true wealth and happiness are not measured by material things. Love, friendship, and freedom are far more valuable. If you possess love, friendship, and freedom, then you are truly rich. Instead of locking yourself into your small island of possessions and safety, you should open up to the world. That way, you will be the richest man alive, because the whole world belongs to you." The father was filled with pride as he realized that his son had learned a valuable lesson about life. He knew that his son would never forget this journey and that it would shape him into a kinder, more empathetic human being.